What's up, everyone? Day 2. We're right back at it. Do another video today. This is titled The Joy of Becoming a Saint and Becoming Great. I'll paraphrase, but I will start with a Bible verse. The parable of the talents. So there's a master, aka Jesus in the parable, that gives 3 servants, aka us, talents. Talents are a form of currency, probably gold at this time. One of the most valuable units of currency in the Roman Empire. To one servant he gives 5, to one he gives 2, and to one he gives 1. Quote unquote, each in according to his own ability. Kind of cool. He leaves. He wants us to do something with those talents. The first one exchanges his, quote unquote, doubles his money. Second one does the same. Third one hides it in the dirt. This is a parable. What's Jesus trying to tell us through this? Talents, I don't think the gospel writer Matthew is too far off in saying that the talents, gifts, abilities, treasures that God gave us for this earthly life are the same thing, right? It may be money, but it also could be being funny or being caring or being compassionate or being humble, whatever. God gives us all different amounts of talents and varying degrees of talents. How do we use them? When I heard this a couple weeks ago, the word exchange really stuck out to me. Exchanging money. We need to exchange our talents. How do we do that? First off, we need to give them to others. We need to give of our time, of our treasure, money, and of our gifts. Maybe using humor for someone else's gain. Being humble for someone else. Giving our talents. Giving ourselves. But exchanging too. What is an exchange? It's a giving and a receiving. We still need to receive others. How do we do that? We need to show others that they have talents too. We need to help them discern what they have been given and how they can help others to realize that they have purpose, and no matter who they are, if they're poor, homeless, neglected, mentally ill, that they have a purpose and they have talents and they can be used for the good of God. Or if they're not Christian, for the good of others. God calls us all to do something with these talents. But kind words, actions, deeds are contagious. Pebble in the ocean, pebble in the pond. It rings, it duplicates, it becomes bigger. One action becomes hundreds, becomes thousands, becomes millions of actions. Doubling, tripling, 100 times over those talents. God wants you to use them. God wants us to become great. God wants us to become saints. How do we do that? By giving of ourselves. By letting our own light shine, from Coach Carter, right? Let our own light shine so we give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our fear of failing, and becoming then great, we automatically liberate others. How do you want to become great? Do you want to have a job that you are so passionate about that you love to go to it? A vocation like priesthood, marriage life, single life, whatever, that brings you joy, that fulfills you? That when you go to bed at night, you can say, I did everything I could, and I feel at peace. That's what God wants of you, and that's what sainthood is. It's a joyous occasion of living for others, but at the same time, feeling complete peace. If you don't think you have talents, sit in silence. Ask others. Do everything you can to figure out what they are, because you do. Because God has a purpose for you. And then figure out, God, how do you want me to use this to help others? Because once your life of service, that doesn't mean becoming poor. That means just always thinking of others first. Then you'll be happy. Then you'll be fulfilled. And then you'll be great. You can become a multimillionaire in God's plan. But as long as that money doesn't control you, as long as it doesn't dictate your every action, if service does, you can still do that. You can become great. You can become a professional athlete, whatever. One final thought. God wants to work through you. God wants to be his hands and feet through you, because he loves you so much. When you die, the closer you get to God and the more you act in service and of love, the more you're able to look like and act like Christ. My hope is for each and every one of you that by the time you get to heaven, that you've gotten so close to God and that you're, serving and being kind and thinking of others so much that when you meet Jesus, there will hardly be a difference between you and him. And the decision will be easy. Welcome to paradise, my good and faithful servant.